So what we're going to talk about today is how to run a successful ad campaign. This is going to be a general overview of what you should and shouldn't do, the order of operations of things, and it should help a lot of people save money and actually have effective ads. So what we're going to cover? Well, there's four things we're going to cover. First off is the breakdown of an ad or a successful ad. Number two is the ad platform slash the life cycle of an e-commerce store. And we're going to cover everything from Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Google ads. For three, we're going to talk about different types of ads. And then for four, we're actually going to talk about ad creation. So first things first, let's break down what makes a successful ad. There's kind of three main components. The first is the hook, which is basically a large statement or contrasting statements such as, your bed is hurting your back, this is bad for your skin. Something that really catches somebody's attention, like, oh, this is a problem in my life, or, this could really make my life easier. The second part, which is often the main part of the ad, is the persuasive body. So it usually indicates, okay, what are the benefits, what are, what it can do for you, how awesome this product is, etc. The last thing is the CTA, or what we call the call to action. And this is kind of a command to whoever you're trying to reach, like, this is the way to go. You should get it now. Sometimes you'll have an encouragement like, if you get it now, you get 10% off. But you're really, it's more of a command of you need to buy this now. So let's take a look at an example of a good ad and a bad ad. So looking through a couple different ads on Facebook, I came across this one as a really good example of the different parts of an ad and why it can be successful. So first off, we have this initial thing saying side sleeping can cause stress on your spine. So immediately it's saying the hook. What is wrong? Well, this thing that you're dealing with is hurting you. It's impacting your health. Something bad is happening. Catches the watcher's attention and says, "Oh, okay, this is something. What's going to happen? What's going to improve this?" It exemplifies on it, it improves on it. Then it presents the product, and then it starts going into what this product is and what it will do to benefit you. And so this is going into the persuasive body of an ad. Great promises, what it's made of, that it's durable, it's going to last you a long time. And then we start to get into the call to action. So, it says, okay, try it risk-free for 30 nights. So it's saying there's no risk to it. So you don't need to have any apprehensions about getting this. And then it says, get yours and join thousands of happy customers. So this is still part of the call to action. A lot of people are already getting this. It's describing the popularity. It's a lot of people already have this. You should probably get it now. And then the last call to action there, which is shop now and get 50% off and free shipping. That's the final call to action. So this is an example of a really great ad. It has all three of those parts. So now let's take a look at a bad ad. So I was just going through, and this has none of the components that we saw before. So there's some sort of product. It looks like a t-shirt. There's hats. There's, it's really basic stuff. And look, you can stuff your stocking with it. So there's nothing in here that really encourages a buyer, a potential buyer, to actually get this. It doesn't really even describe what the product is. So let's try and see if we can utilize the three different components of an ad to see what this could look like if it were a better ad. So starting off with the hook, it could say something like, stuffing stocking is a real pain, takes lots of time and effort, when you're in a busy life, or something to that effect. Then it could say, this particular product is already bundled for you, it saves you time and money, and it's great. And then for the call to action at the end, they could say something like, buy now, get 50% off your second purchase, something to that effect. That would have been much more effective than what we see here. Before I start going through the different methods on how to create ads and best ways to go about it, I would first suggest setting up Google Analytics. Google Analytics is amazing for tracking where your customers are coming from in terms of different media. if they're doing conversions, what country they're from, etc., etc. It's really amazing and can help you a lot. So you should definitely set that up first. To do so, go to your admin of your Shopify store, go to Online Store, Preferences. Then you go down, scroll down to the Google Analytics part of it. It's a bit of a process to set up your Google Analytics account. It's all free, but I'd highly suggest just clicking the link here, and Shopify will show you exactly how to go through and actually get a Google Analytics code that you can paste in here. Once that's done, Google Analytics can track everything that's coming to your store. So now that we've covered what a good ad looks like, let's actually go into the life cycle or the order of operation of how you should approach ads, because this is the thing that so many new stores mess up. It costs them tons of money and they don't get a lot of results out of it. So first off, do not go directly to Facebook ads. Facebook ads have become very expensive and a lot of people go directly to them and they lose a ton of money. Before doing that, there are two outlets that you can go to that are way cheaper that you can test whether your ad is actually successful or not before actually committing to putting money into Facebook ads. I'm not saying Facebook ads aren't a good thing. They are. They're really awesome. However, you need to ensure that the ad that you create is actually resonating with whatever your intended audience is. So first off, I highly recommend going with an Instagram influencer. So what is an Instagram influencer? Well, an Instagram influencer is somebody who is in the specific niche that you're looking for, so that you know that your target audience is interested in whatever it is. So let's take an example here. So one thing that's been trending recently are these pet gloves. You can see that they're used to remove the fur from your cat or your dog. In this case, we're going to be focusing on cats. What I found is an ad that actually markets these, and that'll allow us a starting point in order to be able to find other Instagram influencers who would be useful in terms of marketing this to our target audience. So let's check out their page here. So what we're going to do is, obviously we don't want to try and use this because this is an actual store. We're going to look for other people who are related to this. So I'm going to go ahead and click the little blue button here, which is going to show us other people who are related to this. Then to see more, I'm going to click on See All. We can find that there's a number of Instagram influencers that are similar or interested in the same niche market. So let's take a look at a couple of them here. So this first one here, it looks like they are all about cats. There's a bunch of cat memes. I don't happen to see any ads on this page, which is great. So the only thing that we have an issue with is that they only have 25.8K followers. What we're looking for is an Instagram influencer with at least 50K followers so that they do have interest, and we kind of want to make sure that they don't have greater than 200K followers. If they have 200K followers, it's probable that they've already run ads for other people and they might start charging you an arm and a leg for that. The other reason why is that we want to ensure that the people that are following this Instagram influencer aren't already desensitized to ads being run by this particular influencer. So this other Instagram influencer here looks like they are a great option. They've got 112K followers, which is perfect. It's right in the middle of our range there. From what I can see here, they don't seem to be running ads by another competitor, which is awesome. So this would be a great example of an Instagram influencer that you can reach out to and see if they are interested in running your ads. In terms of a benchmark of where to start, usually you want to try and offer about $25 for a 12-hour post. Now they might want to negotiate something higher, something lower. It's a good starting place and you can go from there. Now, what we want to do is ensure that we're running at least 2 different ads, because this is our way of determining whether the ad that we're running is actually resonating with our target audience or not. This allows you to ensure that you have a very good ad before switching over to some of the more expensive methods. What you can do is rinse and repeat and keep running different versions of the same ad until you find one that's really working, and then we can move forward. The other method that you can start with earlier on is with TikTok. Now this video is being recorded in December of 2020. Now TikTok is relatively in its infancy when it comes to ads. They kind of started doing it about a year ago, but they didn't really do much about it. And it's only in the past 3 months or so that they've actually really expanded things. I wish I could give you more information about the best way to go about it, but that's still kind of up in the air. So we'll follow back up on this later when we actually have more information. That being said, TikTok is relatively cheap to do ads on because it is so new. So that's another great medium in which you can test your ads and post them for a relatively low price. So once you've made about $2,000 in capital, then you can start to switch over to Facebook ads. Now, before you actually start doing your ads, you want to make sure that you have a Facebook pixel that is live on your store. Well, why do we care about a Facebook pixel? Well, basically, it allows you to monitor how people are interacting with your site. It allows you to re-engage customers later on and lets you know how successful your ads are. So to do so, you actually need to add Facebook as a sales channel. So simply click the plus button here, scroll down to Facebook, and add that in. Facebook is going to ask you if it's okay to connect, etc., etc. When you've added that, you're going to be presented with this screen here. Now, the most important thing is you want to set up this part because that's for creating the free ads and whatnot. After you've gone through and connected your Facebook account, it will allow you to connect with your Facebook pixel. It can then tell you about how successful your ads are running on Facebook. Take the ad that you know is successful from your Instagram influencers and use that to set up a Facebook ad that you can start running and see if that is successful. Initially, you want to make sure that it is a broad range so that you can start determining, which age, gender, etc. is specifically interested in your product. Once you've run a general campaign, then you can start running campaigns that are specific to that niche market. When you start running Facebook ads, you can also start on YouTube ads as well. They're much cheaper than Facebook, at least at the current time, less stringent, and they have high success rates. You want to ensure that you do not have them embedded in live streams, as people will not pause a live stream YouTube video in order to view your ad. So that's one thing to keep in mind. As our final ad outlet, there is the option to run Google ads. So this is much more for established brands that have static products that don't need to be shown off in terms of their usefulness or problem solving. A good example would be something like jewelry, where you don't need to explain what the product is, what it does, and if your products fall into this where it's a very static image, then go ahead. It's very good, and you can start running it in that regard. So let's get into our third section, which is about the different types of ads. Now, overall, there are four general types. First would be a problem/solution. Usually these types of ads bring up a problem, amplify it, and then provide a solution. At the start of this video, when we were showing a demo, this would have been a great example of a problem-solution ad. The next is demonstration. It demonstrates what the product is and what it can do. Now, there's a bit of crossover between the demonstration ad and a problem solution. It just really depends on what kind of product you're selling. If it doesn't solve a problem, then you're going to want a demonstration of what your product can actually do. Thirdly, testimonial. So a testimonial is a customer demonstrating, using, and saying how much they love the particular product. This can be very good for Instagram influencers, especially if they're doing it themselves. Lastly, we have social proof. This is similar to testimonials, but usually with a large group of people. So, flash between, person A, B, C, and D saying, yeah, this is great, I love it, wow, it solved all my problems, etc., etc. This is good because it provides a lot of validity to the claims that the product is making. So keep these four things in mind when you're creating an ad. So the last thing we're going to talk about is ad creation. So how do we actually go about creating these ads? So starting off, especially if you are using a dropshipper, oftentimes the manufacturer themselves will have an ad that you can usually use. Here's an example here. You can see that there's already a 38-second ad that's created by the manufacturer. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to let you use that. So it's a great place to start. Another option is to actually buy a sample of said product. When you receive it, you can then make your own ad with your friends and family. It's a very cheap way of going about it, and it can turn out really well. The next thing I'd recommend is using Fiverr. Fiverr is a great way of getting somebody else to do it for you, and usually for pretty cheap. So usually you can type in, create an ad, You can search through the different people who are interested in making ads for you, negotiate a good rate with them, and they can do an ad directly for you without you having to do it yourself. Lastly, you can go to a professional ad developer. Some of these include like viral ecom ads. Honestly, you can just go to Google and search up, Shopify ad creation or Facebook ad creation, Instagram ad creation, whatever you want. They might be a little bit more pricey, but at the same time, you'll probably find something that is much more professional than something that you can create on your own. So there you go. That's our video on how to run a successful ad campaign. I hope you learned something and I hope it helps out. Catch you next time. Looking to improve your store? Hire a geek. We offer individual store optimizations, one-on-one training, as well as workshops. Check out the description below for more information.